Hi, I'm Josh Nash, a product planner on the Azure Sphere engineering team, and I'm joined here today by Scott Saponis.
And I'm a senior director on the Microsoft Healthcare team.
And we're here today to talk about medical devices in a connected world. Let's start it off with a question. Scott, can you tell me about some of the considerations that you need to make around connecting medical devices?
Yeah, connecting medical devices provides a number of benefits. One of them is that you can take data from the device and bring it into the cloud, into an electronic medical record. But you can also provide secure updates over time to update the functionality or to address any security vulnerabilities. And some of what we're going to talk about today is the special way you can use Azure Sphere to do all of these things.
Excellent. And Azure Sphere, as you may or may not know, is an end-to-end solution to enable manufacturers to produce secure, trustworthy, connected devices. We do it by enabling the 7 properties of a highly secure device, which spans the range of hardware, software, and services. So share with me a little bit more detail about how your team has taken the Azure Sphere platform and implemented it and taken advantage of those benefits in a medical setting.
Yeah, I'll walk you through a proof of concept system that we've built. It's a home blood pressure monitor with Azure Sphere at the center. What we've done is taken all of the software you would expect to have in a home blood pressure monitor and put it on the real-time core that's a part of the Azure Sphere operating system and run that in something called Azure RTOS, or real-time operating system. So all of the software that controls the hardware for a blood pressure monitor, pump, solenoid, things like that, we put that all in one place, call that the medical device, and actually separate that from the high-level operating system and all the security functionality of the Azure Sphere system. And this lets us still get all the benefits of a connected, secure system to the cloud for updates, for data transfer, but also lets us separate those two pieces of software.
So you, in a sense, have separated, you've compartmentalized your core functionality of your device onto the real-time core. And then you've created an application on the high-level core to be able to enable that connectivity, the connected component of the device.
Azure Sphere is providing you this value of maintaining a secure system. You have an Azure Sphere security system in the cloud that's constantly being updated for new threats that emerge, and the operating system on the device is also being updated to counter any threats that come up. It's also serving as the mechanism by which you can do secure updates to the medical device itself and get data from the medical device back into the cloud, into the Azure ecosystem where you can use it in an electronic medical record and other medical applications. And here is where we get to use Azure Sphere as a way of joining up with the rest of the Microsoft Azure ecosystem. So after it arrives in the cloud in the Azure IoT Hub, we can take it through the Fire connector and then into the Azure API for Fire, which is the international standard for how we store medical data. And then we've built an application on top of the Azure API for Fire that looks a lot like a hypertension management system where a clinician could view all the blood pressure measurements for each of their patients and then make recommendations.
So you've essentially unlocked through an Azure Sphere connected device an end-to-end Azure-based medical experience to help patients communicate with their providers and manage and monitor something that might not require a direct office visit every time you need to take a reading.
Absolutely. And at the same time, Azure Sphere is doing that constant monitoring and updating for all the emerging threats that are coming out, and then separately being able to update that medical device software.
Thanks for joining us today. It's really exciting to see the capabilities that Azure Sphere brings to unlock connected scenarios for medical devices and the patient scenarios that are unlocked as a result. And thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about medical devices or Azure Sphere, please consult the resources on the screen and in the comment section below. Thanks again for tuning in.